Obsidian of the Long and Owens Valley. Brought to you by the National Science Foundation and the Eastern Sierra Institute for Collaborative Education.
Scattered in the sage and sand along historic Highway 395 are chips of obsidian, volcanic glass, left behind by the Paiute people, some of the early inhabitants of Owens and Long Valley. Obsidian from this region is born from thick, oozing, silica-rich lava that quickly cools with the last pulse of a volcanic eruption. Native Americans prized obsidian because a skilled person could craft this hardened, glass-like lava into valuable tools and arrowheads. Calderas and volcanic domes throughout the eastern Sierra provided numerous sources for this glassy, black treasure. Owens Valley native Gerald Howard found that,
like anything else, if you've done it for a while, you know exactly what you're looking for, what the best material is. One of the unique things about the Owens Valley is that the obsidian is pretty clean. It doesn't have too many imperfections.
Retired science teacher and Owens Valley native Dennis Brackett offers an explanation for this rock's amazing properties as a cutting tool.
One unique thing about obsidian is that it breaks in a very predictable fashion. Geologists call that conchoidal fracture, which means shell-like. And you can see on a flake that's been struck off of a piece of obsidian, you can see that it does sort of resemble the back of a seashell. It has a curving pattern, and of course this struck flake was really quite sharp.
A well-crafted obsidian blade has a cutting edge many times sharper than a steel surgeon's scalpel. Native American tribes like the Paiute have always appreciated the superiority of this typically black, glassy stone and utilized it for much of their tool making. Obsidian was exchanged or traded over distances of hundreds of miles, along with pine nuts from local desert mountains and salt from the shores of Owens Lake. Obsidian was the currency of choice for the Paiute people and was traded across the mountains as far as Nebraska. Paiute elder Gerald Kane recalls stories his father and grandfather told him about old Paiute trade routes through the eastern Sierra and their importance to his people.
Passes over the mountains, were used frequently in the spring and summertime when they would travel to trade. And they would take things with them that they could trade because that was part of the learning process.
Archaeologists, like detectives, are always searching for clues to help them piece together a picture of the past. As Craig Skinner, director of the Northwest Research Obsidian Studies Laboratory, explains,
one of the unique attributes of obsidian glass is that almost every obsidian source is chemically unique. In the 1960s and early 1970s, it became possible because of advances in X-ray fluorescent spectrometry to non-destructively analyze artifacts for multiple trace elements at the same time.
This geochemical technology uses X-rays to bombard the obsidian and reveal its composition. Just as every person can be identified by a unique fingerprint, every obsidian outcrop and every handcrafted obsidian tool has its own fingerprint.
So when they find obsidian and arrowheads, on the other side of the mountains in Nevada or wherever, I actually found out that it comes from the Owens Valley. So that makes kind of the story, that they've told down through the ages true. Well, otherwise those things wouldn't be there.
To learn more about obsidian and the Paiute culture, stop by the Eastern California Museum just off Highway 395 in the town of Independence. Or you can visit us online at roadsideheritage.org.